What's up YouTube? It's the girl Savannah and I'm back with another video. I'm so excited to be back on here and posting content a lot more consistently because I just want to give back to y'all, give y'all some information that I've learned. I'm sorry. Yesterday I felt a little under the weather and so I looked like crap yesterday. But today I was like, you know what, I'm gonna dress up, I'm gonna look cute, and I'm gonna get this video done. So excuse my voice, I have a little cold. No, it's not corona. So I'm so excited to be back with another video. But before we get into the video, I just want to tell you to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that notification bell because you'll be notified every time I post a video. But one thing I do want to say is help me out in this journey. I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers and I really want to hit that goal by the end of April. So if it doesn't cost you anything, just hit the subscribe button and I promise you won't regret it. So just become a part of the journey with me, girl, boy, man. Anyway, what they don't tell you about nursing school. So the biggest thing for me, is, I feel like one thing that helped me out with, just learning just a tidbit about nursing school before getting into nursing school was YouTube. A lot of people shared their, their reviews, their life stories, real life stories of what they're going through in nursing school. So for me, I think the biggest things that, and I have some stuff written down, so excuse me. I think the biggest thing that I didn't realize I was going to encounter before going into nursing school was the cliques. There are a lot of people that click up and, of course they have their own study groups and, they don't want to give information, which is crazy to me. But that was one of the biggest things that I didn't realize I was going to encounter. I heard people say it, but I was like, well, maybe it's just their nursing school. Maybe it's their nursing school was just like that. It was just them. But no, it's very true. People click up, they won't give out information, which is sad because we're all in this journey together. And we're not in high school, we're in college, for God's sakes. We're all trying to get to the same goal. But I encountered a couple of cliques. But I mean, I think the main thing for me, I didn't really worry about that because I'm a loner naturally. In high school, I didn't really hang out with people, and so I didn't really care. So don't fall into the cliques because those cliques can also sometimes give you misinformation. So whenever you go into the study groups, a lot of times those study groups affect the way you take your exams, the way you give the information, because not everybody in those study groups learn like you do. I'm more of a visual learner, visual and auditory learner. So I don't learn like everybody else. I can't just read a book and I absorb the information. It'll go through one ear and go out the other. So just be mindful of that whenever you're going into those cliques or even attempting to, really want to be in the clique, because a lot of times it doesn't help. If anything, it adds more stress. So when you're on your own, when you're solo, you're learning how you study, you're learning how you learn, it's gonna be a lot less stressful. That doesn't mean that you don't socialize with people, but I just wouldn't fall into the clique. Stay focused, and just stay informed. When you stay informed on your own with the syllabus, with the teachers, you don't have to rely on these cliques, because the information. So let me see, another thing that I didn't realize I was going to encounter excuse me, was the rude ass teachers. A lot of times, I don't know what it is, but I ran into numerous teachers that, there were a couple that I actually had to check, because at the end of the day, I'm a grown woman. I understand that a lot of the students in here are young. They're just coming out of, high school. I mean, not high school, but, they're young. Some of the kids were like 19, 20, which is crazy. But but sometimes they will get into the habit of talking to us all the same way, which isn't right. I mean, the teachers are there to help you. They are to inform you. They are to, just lead you to become a, better nurse. But you run into those rude ass teachers that make you feel stupid, for lack of better words. They just make you feel stupid, like you're incompetent, like, okay, even from first semester, dang, so you're telling me that I didn't learn anything. But one thing about that I will say is, if it gets to the point where they're berating you and they're making you just feel like you just really want to drop out, it's time to maybe go directly to them and talk to them and say, hey, I didn't appreciate the way you talked to me in front of the class. Because a lot of times what they do is they get so comfortable with talking to people like that, and the only way to address it or to help them, fix it is to, bring it to their attention. And a lot of times, I mean, this doesn't excuse it, but a lot of times they're under a lot of stress, because, it's nursing school for them too, and they have to constantly go through different classes to help people learn information. So I mean, I could see how that can get stressful, but I still don't think it's right. So yeah, just look out for those type of teachers, and I think you learn quickly, what teacher you can go to or what teacher you can't. But don't let them discourage you. Don't let those rude ass teachers discourage you, because a lot of times, which is crazy, there are some teachers that are actually, trying to make people drop out, which is beyond me. That was mentioned numerous times during my first semester, and I was like, I understand that's reality. A lot of people, aren't gonna make it, but at the same time, you don't want to keep mentioning that to somebody, because in their head they'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna drop out, I'm gonna not make it. So you don't want to keep mentioning that to somebody, and it's just not something you want to keep mentioning to a student, because it doesn't help. It doesn't help. If anything, it terrifies them. You're gonna run. Excuse me, sorry, I'm back now. My daughter interrupted me. So you're gonna run into some. I ran into a teacher that was not fair, and you could tell that he was kind of racist, because he would say certain things in class that was just not really. I couldn't believe that he said it, and it wasn't something blatant. It was just like we were talking. I'm not gonna get into that, but I mean, you could tell like some of the things that he would say and the way he would talk to you, especially if you had to review an exam. He was really pushing. I didn't do too well on the first two exams, and then by a certain, I think by the third exam, they started, having people, okay, make a decision. Hey, you may want to go ahead and drop. And he was really pushing for me to drop, even though that we could take one retake, and we still had 2 more exams and a comprehensive. So it didn't really sit well with me, the way he kept pushing me to drop. So, but anyways, I say all that to say, don't let the teachers deflect what they've seen in the past on you. Yes, take some information because it's very informative. Take their advice on organization. Take their advice on getting ahead on your studies, but don't allow them to discourage you to drop out. I'm gonna say that's all I'm saying with that. So another thing that I would say is I did not realize that a lot of information you're going to be teaching yourself, which sounds so bad, but whenever of course they, you go to lecture and they teach you the things that that they're going to focus on the exam, but there are a lot of things that can't be covered in the lecture. So you have to take care of it outside of lecture. And sometimes it's a lot. I know with my LVN program, it just seemed like, I was like, I mean, they covered a lot, but I mean, even the stuff that they covered, you have to go out and, you know, learn it your way. But there were other things that they didn't get to cover that you had to go find out on your own, if that makes sense. Excuse me. So you're gonna have to be or take initiative on certain things. So get ready. And I think, honestly, I think that kind of helps you become a better nurse, because whenever you go and get your BSN, you know, or, you know, if you're starting off as LVN, which is in my case, it's going to help you, hey, okay, you know, take initiative with your patient. And I would hope that you would take initiative even when you have your LVN. But it just gets you into that mindset. Okay, I got to learn, I got to, you know, take care of my own information, and then seek knowledge if I can't find it. Another thing, and this is probably the biggest thing, you will not have time for anything else. Yeah, you won't have time for anything else. And it feels like, it feels so sad saying that, but there are a lot of times where you're not gonna have time for anything else. And I think it's gonna feel like that even more if you're not properly using your time whenever you can. So, you know, you wanna, you know, eat, sleep, and study, and then also have a little bit of time for family, because I think that's important. Whenever you properly use your time, properly divide your time, properly, you know, do what you're supposed to do and not procrastinate, then you're gonna, if you don't do any of that, you're gonna feel overwhelmed. You're gonna feel like you don't have you're like, I can't do anything. But you have to make time for family. So it's gonna feel like you can't, sorry, I got my candle. It's gonna feel like you don't have any time for anything else, which you won't have a lot of time for. You know, you can't go out to every party. You can't go out to every function. Some things you're gonna have to let your family go, and then you stay home so you can have some time to study. So that was one thing that I really had to learn once I finished my LVN, or at my last semester of my LVN. It really made me like really put some stuff together and understand that I have to really study. I have to really study when I'm supposed to study, sleep when I'm supposed to sleep, eat when I'm supposed to eat. And just being present in that moment, and then have fun with my family when I'm supposed to, and not worry about anything else. My first semester, I can remember this day, I was freaking out so much about my third exam because I had failed my first two, like I said before, and not by a lot. It was like 76 and then like 72. Well, it's anyways, because you have to have a 78. So anyway, so I imagine this. You're in the grocery store, you're shopping with I'm shopping with my husband, and I have my daughter. At that time we didn't have my son. And he's looking, my husband's looking at me, and then he can tell I'm like going through stuff in my head. I'm like, he was like, what's going on? And he could tell that I'm slowly freaking out. I was literally sitting there thinking of the stuff that I need to remember, thinking of what I may have forgotten. And this was the day before the exam. It was like I was so stressed out, so anxious that I was sitting there, you know, thinking, and I wasn't present in that moment. My husband's asking me questions, and I couldn't even I couldn't even, you know, answer his question. I was freaking out so much that I had to leave the grocery store to go sit in the car to go through the information in my head. That's how bad it was. So so you have it within everything. You have to find time for yourself, find time for your family, and just find time for everything that you need to do, including studying. And so this time around with my LVN to RN program, I'm finding time for myself, finding time for my family, finding time for studying, you know, self-care, and then this is something that I also want to do. So I'm finding time to do the things that I love also. But that's it. That's all I have written down. Those are the main things that I feel like that I didn't really know about in nursing school before, you know, going into nursing school. So, but let me know what you all, you know, didn't realize was going to happen in nursing school until you got in nursing school. Drop it down in the comments, and I'm pretty sure that'll help some other people figure out nursing school and prepare for nursing school properly. So if you guys have any questions, again, drop them in the comments. I can't wait for the next video. I can't wait to keep pushing out content to you guys. Again, you guys, like, comment, subscribe. Road to 100,000. Yes, 100,000. No, 1,000. Baby steps. Road to 1,000. Come on with me. Help me. Promote me. Join me. I'll see y'all in the next video.